Welcome back, everybody. Today we're going to be diving into a story that you guys specifically requested.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and it's a tough one,
Okay.
but it's the recent collision near Reagan National Airport. Between that American Airlines plane and an Army helicopter.
Oh, right, right.
And it's a tragic story, but our listeners want to try to understand what happened.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we're going to be taking a look at a Fox News article to help us break this down.
Well,
It's titled, Staffing at Reagan Washington National Airport Air Control Tower Was Not Normal on Night of Collision, FAA.
gotcha.
And it cites internal reports and statements from different people that were actually involved. So it gives us at least, a little bit of insight into the situation.
Okay, so let's start unpacking this.
Yeah. So first things first, this collision happened Wednesday night.
Okay.
And like I said, it involved that American Airlines plane and that Army helicopter.
Right.
Tragically, all 67 people on both aircraft are presumed dead. Now, the thing that really caught my eye in this Fox News article is that it highlights this not normal staffing situation at the air traffic control tower that night.
Interesting.
Yeah, so get this. An internal FAA report states that one controller was handling two positions that are usually managed by two separate controllers.
Wow. That's quite a workload for one person,
Yeah,
especially during,
right.
a busy period at an airport like that.
Especially at Reagan National.
Yeah, it makes you wonder how that not normal situation even came to be.
Exactly. Like, was this a one-time thing or is this like a symptom of a bigger problem?
Right.
And according to the article, it sounds like Reagan National Airport has been dealing with chronic understaffing.
Really?
Yeah, they only have 19 fully certified controllers,
Wow.
which is way less than their target of 30,
Yeah.
which was set by the Federal Aviation Administration, or
Okay.
FAA for short,
Right.
and the Controllers Union.
So this isn't just like, an arbitrary number.
Right.
This is something that they're actually, they're supposed to have 30, and they only have 19.
Exactly. And this understaffing problem, it's not just limited to Reagan National.
Right. Yeah.
No, this is nationwide.
Okay.
The article mentions that the CEO of Frontier Airlines, Barry Biffle, warned about this severe air traffic controller shortage across the entire country.
Wow.
And he even predicted that it could cause major disruptions for summer travel.
Oh, no. So we're talking
Yeah.
delays, cancellations on top of everything else.
Exactly. And it makes you wonder, what can be done about this in the long term?
Right.
What are the solutions here?
Well, according to the article, Biffle thinks that technology could really help in the long run,
Okay.
improve air traffic control efficiency.
Kind of help streamline things a bit?
Yeah, exactly. But he also stresses that we need to find solutions for these staffing shortages right now to prevent, all those delays and cancellations.
Of course.
We can't just wait for technology to, magically fix everything.
So we've got this pressing need to address the staffing shortage while also, looking towards technology for the future.
Right.
But where does that leave us in terms of safety right now?
Well, this brings up a big question about safety in our national airspace.
Okay.
The article cites a report from the FAA's National Airspace System Safety Review Team.
Okay.
And their conclusion is kind of alarming.
What'd they say?
They found that the combination of staffing shortages and lack of funding and outdated technology has basically created an unsustainable level of safety.
Wow. Unsustainable. That's a pretty strong word.
Yeah, and that's coming directly from the FAA.
Yeah, that's a huge red flag for sure.
Big time.
So we've got understaffed air traffic control towers, the potential for travel chaos, and serious concerns about safety.
Got a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What does this mean for the people actually doing the job, the air traffic controllers themselves?
I mean, just imagine the kind of pressure they're under right now.
Right.
They're working 10-hour days, 6 days a week, just to try and keep up with demand.
That's got to be exhausting.
Oh, absolutely. That kind of schedule is a recipe for burnout, for sure.
Yeah, it sounds like a really difficult situation for everybody involved.
Definitely.
So thinking about this incident at Reagan,
Yeah.
does this staffing situation at the air traffic control tower, raise some red flags for you?
It definitely makes you think.
Yeah. Right.
Obviously, the investigation is still ongoing, and it's way too early to draw any conclusions. But this staffing issue definitely needs to be looked into.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
This deep dive has shown how interconnected all these issues are.
Yeah.
Staffing, technology, safety, and the pressure on controller, it's all connected.
Absolutely. It's a domino effect.
Yeah, and I think what's important to remember is that aviation safety isn't just about preventing accidents.
Right.
It's about creating a system that can handle challenges effectively.
And a system that can adapt.
Right.
evolve.
Exactly. So a system that's built to be resilient.
Exactly.
So this brings up a big question for me.
Mhm.
Given all these risks, with understaffing and outdated technology, what can we do to improve the safety and efficiency of air travel,
Right.
both now and in the future?
That's the million-dollar question.
Right.
Well, in the short term, we need to deal with the staffing crisis,
Okay.
which means investing in programs that recruit and train qualified air traffic controllers.
Right. But given how difficult things are right now,
Yeah.
how can the industry realistically attract and retain these skilled controllers?
Yeah, that's a great point. I think we need to look at things like compensation,
Okay.
benefits, and even the work environment itself.
Right.
Like, is it a good place to work?
Make it appealing.
Exactly. And the training process needs to be more efficient
Okay.
so we can get these new controllers certified and out there working more quickly.
So what about the long term?
Yeah.
What role does technology play in all of this?
Well, technology has huge potential to completely change air traffic control as we know it.
Okay.
We're talking advanced automation, artificial intelligence, data analytics, and more.
Wow, so some really complex stuff.
Yeah, and these tools could help controllers manage way larger volumes of traffic
Okay.
more efficiently and accurately.
So this is like real game-changing technology.
Yeah.
But does this mean that we're going to be replacing human controllers entirely?
Not necessarily.
Yeah.
I think it's more about enhancing what humans can do,
Okay.
not eliminating them altogether.
So not replacing them,
Well,
just
well,
helping them.
It's like giving them advanced tools to make better decisions and manage really complex situations.
So more of a partnership between humans and technology.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The goal is to create a system that's adaptable and resilient,
Right.
something that can handle the increasing demands of air travel.
Well, this deep dive has really opened my eyes to how complex air traffic control really is.
Yeah.
It's something that we often take for granted until there's a problem.
It's easy to overlook that whole network of people and technology
Right.
working behind the scenes to keep us safe.
Yeah, but incidents like the one at Reagan National are a stark reminder of just how vital that system is
Absolutely.
and how much we rely on it.
For sure.
Yeah, it really underscores that there's always room for improvement
Always.
when it comes to aviation safety.
Yeah, and it also kind of highlights how we all share responsibility for that safety.
Oh, interesting.
Policymakers, regulators, industry leaders, and even passengers. Like, we all need to advocate for safety
Right.
and hold people accountable.
For upholding those high standards.
Exactly.
We've covered a lot of ground here,
Yeah, we have.
from the staffing at Reagan National to the nationwide controller shortage,
Yeah.
the potential of technology, and the strain on controllers.
Right. It's a lot to think about.
It is a lot to take in.
It really emphasizes the impact on those controllers.
Right.
I mean, they're the ones right there on the front lines
Yeah, they are.
of this whole complex system.
It makes you wonder, what can everyday people like our listeners do
Right.
to, stay informed and involved in this whole conversation about safety?
That's a great question. I always encourage people to look for reliable sources of information,
Okay.
like, the FAA website,
Right.
industry publications, trustworthy news outlets,
Okay.
stay updated on new developments, proposed solutions,
Okay.
investigations into incidents like this one at Reagan National.
Because the more we understand these issues, the
Right.
better equipped we are to advocate for change.
Exactly. Don't hesitate to ask questions.
Right.
Challenge assumptions. Have conversations with your elected officials and industry leaders.
Yeah.
Your voice matters.
It really does. And this isn't just about the aviation industry.
Right.
It's about the safety of everyone who flies.
You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
We all have a stake in this.
This deep dive has been really eye-opening for me.
Me too.
I'm definitely going to be paying more attention to aviation safety news from now on.
I think that's great.
We've talked about staffing and technology and safety, but what about the human element?
Right.
We talked about the pressure on controllers.
Yeah.
But what about the roles of pilots and even passengers in all of this?
That's a really interesting point. Aviation safety, it's a shared responsibility.
Okay.
It goes way beyond the people who, design and build the aircraft.
Right.
It extends to everyone involved, including the passengers.
Wow, that's a powerful message.
Yeah.
It really reminds us that aviation safety isn't just about rules and technology.
Right.
It's about human behavior vigilance and a shared commitment to constant improvement.
Exactly. At every level.
I couldn't agree more.
Yeah, it's about recognizing that we all have a part to play in ensuring safer skies.
Absolutely.
This deep dive has given me a lot to think about, and I think it's given our listener a lot to consider as well.
I hope so.
Yeah.
We really want to leave listeners with a sense of empowerment
Right.
and understanding.
For sure.
The more we know, the better we can advocate for positive change.
Well, that about wraps up our deep dive for today. We hope this episode has shed some light on the complexities of air traffic control and aviation safety. Yeah, it's been great diving deep into this topic with you.
Always a pleasure. And to our listener, remember, knowledge is power. Stay informed, stay engaged, and stay safe. It's interesting, because we often hear about, those big dramatic solutions to improve air traffic control, like new technology or these major overhauls to the system.
Yeah.
But what about those smaller everyday things?
Right.
That can actually make a difference.
Yeah.
Those little tweaks or even just changes in mindset.
Oh, that's such a good point. I mean, sometimes those less obvious, like incremental improvements
Right.
can have a huge impact.
Yeah.
And they're easier to implement.
And maybe they could even pave the way for those larger changes down the line.
Exactly.
I'm thinking about things like improving communication between pilots and controllers,
Yeah.
or standardizing procedures, or even just, encouraging a culture of safety
Right.
where everyone feels comfortable speaking up
Yes.
if they see something that concerns them.
Yeah. Absolutely. It's about creating a system where safety is like everyone's top priority.
Right.
It's not just a box to check.
Yeah.
It's like a core value that guides every decision.
I like that.
And that's something we can start doing right now.
Right.
We don't have to wait, years down the road for some new technology.
Exactly. And this really emphasizes how we all have a part to play in aviation safety.
Yeah.
It's not just the FAA or the airlines.
We need to move beyond that mindset that safety is someone else's problem.
Right.
So if you see something that doesn't look right, say something.
Exactly.
If you're a pilot, be extra vigilant.
Right.
If you're a passenger, pay attention to those safety briefings.
Yeah.
Every little bit helps.
It really does. And that's a great takeaway for our listeners.
Yeah.
You don't have to be an air traffic controller or a
Right.
pilot to make a difference.
Exactly.
We can all contribute to a safer aviation system.
And remember, it's an ongoing process.
Right.
There will always be new challenges, new technologies, new ways to improve safety.
We're always learning new things.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But by staying informed and engaged and proactive,
Right.
we can all help make our skies safer.
Well, this brings us to the end of our deep dive today.
Okay.
We've explored, this tragic collision near Reagan National,
Uh-huh.
the complexities of air traffic control,
Right.
and the steps that we can take, both big and small,
Yeah.
to improve aviation safety.
Absolutely.
And we hope you found this deep dive informative.
Yeah, it's been great diving deep into this with you.
It's always a pleasure. And to our listeners, remember, knowledge is power.
Yes.
Stay curious, keep asking questions, and never stop learning.
Safe travels, everyone.
Safe travels.